You know, there's a way this song from the montage calms your nerves. There's a way it makes you feel, like it's a morning, so you get up with ease and you just, take on the day.
Yeah, hopefully it eases us
It
all
sounds
through
like
the day.
like a meditation song.
Yes, true.
You know, all those Chinese, Indians. Namaste songs and all that. But then it's a beautiful morning right here. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. It's a rainy one. It's been raining since 4 p.m. yesterday evening till this morning, and we love it. Yes, as long as it's not too much and it's not causing destruction or damage anywhere. We love the weather and we love the fact that it's drizzling. At least a lot of people in the Federal Capital Territory who have no business going out and causing traffic will have to stay at home.
That's true. That's true. So of course there is no traffic today.
Yeah, there isn't, and it was very easy and fantastic to drive on the road. But then good morning and thank you once again for joining us on Daybreak Extra. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman.
And I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, it's going to be
Sumaya from
interesting.
Blado.
And I've missed my girl,
I have missed you too. It's been like how many weeks?
Oh my God.
1 month?
Yeah, a month. Almost a month. 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks.
Well, it's a month. Let's just wrap it up.
It feels good to be back on the Saturday show, even though, well, you'll find out next week. You'll definitely find out next week. So like she said, we actually have a lot of interesting stuff and segments lined up for you. And we will take time, aside the entertainment and gossip, which Sumaya is very, very,
I'm not a gossip though.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm talking about the segments.
Oh, okay.
Like you're very knowledgeable about things happening. When I was driving to work, I was listening to radio and they're talking about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. You see, I didn't even know about it, but this is what I'm saying. She has all the gist, by the way. So when it's time, we'll get to it. And then we'll be having Super Bikers joining us today. I know there's mixed feelings about bikers. Some love them, some don't love them, but then we'll get to find out what is so exciting about, I'm not talking about normal bikes.
Yeah,
right?
professional
I'm talking
riders.
about, sports bikes. I'm talking about power bikes, yes. All right, so we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, it will be time for the newspaper review. Stick around.
Welcome back to Daybreak Extra, and right now we'll be looking at the top stories from the dailies today. So right now we'll start with the Daily Trust newspaper as usual. The headline there says, children set agenda for Tinubu ahead of inauguration. Riders there says, a safe space, free education, top priorities. Well, that's really a good one. And only sound education can guarantee their future, says experts. How Almajiri encourages child labor and street begging. Now, all these stories you would find on page 5 of the newspaper. Happy Children's Day. Of course, let's not forget it's the day for celebrating the kids, so please take them out. They need to relax a bit. At the top of that, you'd see Kano Governor-elect invites Sanusi to inauguration. You find this on page 3 of the newspaper. The Shettima nomination. Supreme Court dismisses PDP's appeal with a 2 million naira fine. You find the story on page 7 of the newspaper. Beside that, you'd see Nigeria airplane flown into Abuja belongs to Ethiopian Airlines. Okay, this story you'd find on page 4 of the newspaper. Let's try not to laugh on that story. If you want to hear more about that story, of course, go get Daily Trust, and you find that on page 4 of the newspaper. At the bottom there, you'll see how two fighting turned into a massacre in Plateau State. Sad story there. You'll find this on page 26 of the newspaper. And unveiling Nigerians' new first lady, promises she made to women and how her predecessors fared. The story you'll find on page 6 of the newspaper. And on the entertainment segment, we have I am humbled by the attention the world gave me, says Hilda Basi. The story you'd find on page 10. Now, these are some of the stories on Daily Trust Saturday.
All right, let's take a look at the Nation Saturday. We have from the top of the page there, Buhari knocks opposition for false 2023 polls narrative. And we also have a rider here that says conducts president-elect on state tour. Fresh poses as Sirika unveils Nigeria airplane. Aircraft did not undergo pre-arrival inspections by NCAA. Now we also have the lead story here that says Tinubu subsidy removal exchange rate regulation may cause initial hardship. And we also have the writer that says Nigeria's economic security problems not peculiar, says Buhari. And you can find details of that story on page 3. Shettima's nomination, your meddlesome interlopers. Supreme Court slams PDP, throws out case against Vice President-elect's alleged double nomination. Court dismisses suits challenging Tinubu's age, citizenship, fines petitioners 17 million naira. Atiku says judgment not set back to his case at PEPC. All right, gunmen set monarch ablaze, kill deputy in Imo, abduct another Catholic priest, kill trainee doctor in Ebonyi. And we also have armed robbers snatch $11 million from Ogun businessman. Details on page 29. These are some of the stories on The Nation Saturday.
All right, we'll move to The Guardian today. It says pregnant mothers, traditional birth attendants, and rising cases of HIV in children. Beside that, you'd see 60 galas of Fofemi or Degbemi of Moviedom, and Debbie Lazy Izamoje. Women should know there is enough room for them to thrive in sports business. Well, that's true, and then I agree with that, with her on that one. The headline there says, "Children's Day, make Nigeria livable, solve our problems, kids tell incoming government." Find this on page 2 of the newspaper, and there's a pictorial of the President Muhammadu Buhari and the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A really beautiful picture there. Says Buhari directs Oshibajo appoints the return assets declaration form. You find this on page 3 of the newspaper, and at the bottom there says 6 oil companies at risk in Bayelsa community over leadership tussle. The story you'd find on page 5 of the newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories on The Guardian today.
All right, let's take a look at Saturday Punch. Court clears Tinubu for Monday inauguration. PDP, LP gear up for legal tussle. We have writers that say Supreme Court to sack Shatima, refuses to sack Shatima. High Court says age falsification suit against President-elect lacks merit. Atiku asks supporters to be calm, insists judgment not setback. We also have more stories. Don't go with official vehicles. Presidency tells ministers. Tinubu vows to kill corruption, 6 Nigerians cooperation. Our parents struggling to feed us. Tinubu should improve economy, says children. And we also have risky pleasure. Sex worker drugs robs businessman. Victim blames wife. And we also have Okoronkwo here saying men, women shouldn't share bills equally in relationships. Nigeria Air plans flights. Airlines vow to stop carrier. Now claims Yoruba, Igbo were marginalized during Sudan evacuation falls, says NAN's president. These are some of the stories on Saturday Punch.
Okay, now we'll move to Vanguard Saturday. From the top there, it says PIA, Chirac sues AGF, Senate President over 30% equity for oil exploration. You find the story on page 8 of the newspaper. Beside that, you say Supreme Court refuses to stop Tinubu's inauguration and says PDP suit against his eligibility lacks merit. Buhari takes him on tour. Aso Rock. The story you'll find on page 5 of the newspaper. And there's a pictorial, a cartoon of the president and the president-elect, and it says it's Jagaban o'clock, 7-time bumps from Buhari. Okay, so this story you'll find on page 10 and 11 of the newspaper. Beside that, you'd see Dezani slams 100 billion naira defamation suit against EFCC, says I had aggressive breast cancer, did 2 operations. The story you'd find on page 8 of the newspaper. Outgoing governors, legacies, failures. You find the story on page 13 of the newspaper. Beside that, you'd see unveiling the new NGF chairman, Abdul Razak, why Tinubu can count on his support. The story you'd find on page 24 of the newspaper. At the bottom says 27-year-old palm wine tapper rapes 80-year-old grandma to death. This story you'd find on page 27, a really sad story there. And on the entertainment segment says Osas Igadaru goes emotional again on stage. You find the story on page 19 of the newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories on Vanguard today.
All right, now let's take a look at the Sun newspaper. That's Saturday Sun. And we have just beside the nameplates there, Tinubu's inauguration, lobbyists, others take over Abuja. Airfares go up, hotels packed full, fight tight security in metropolis. And we also have the Aisha Buhari exclusive, which is the big story here. My life as Buhari's wife, First Lady. Writers here says, we never had family moments. Why I criticized some of my husband's policies openly. My personal assessment is that Buhari fulfilled 50% campaign promises. And, meanwhile, the president himself says he fulfilled 90%. 80 to 90%. Now, what I will miss in Aso Rock. So if you want to read up on that exclusive, you can actually pick up a copy of Saturday Sun. More stories beside that story. On May 29, Supreme Court dismisses PDP suit, clears Tinubu Shatima for inauguration. Slams 2 million naira cost against opposition party. Now, Buhari says, I can't wait to return to Daura on Monday. Chides opposition parties on 2023 polls. Anambra Health Centers, where humans share facilities with snakes. Wow, must be really scary. Now, gunmen kill Imo monarch, traditional prime minister. AE Futa students shot dead in Ebonyi. And these are some of the stories on Saturday's Sun.
All right, let's move to Punch Sports Extra. And we'll start with a bold headline that says exclusive series, the Porters scorecard of Nigerian players at Bet365 Stadium. Beside that, you'd see Fofana immature, naive, says Leboeuf. Find this on page 2 of the newspaper. It says Lyle make offer for Orban. This will you find on page 3 of the newspaper. There is £100 million Bellingham to join Madrid next week. That story you'd find on page 8 of the newspaper. Below that, you'd see United need better players, says Ten Hag. You find that story on page 5 of the newspaper. At the bottom, it says PSG ponder move for Dembele. You find this on page 2. Madrid, Barca lose El Clasico rights. This you'll find on page 6 of the newspaper. MMA gave me purpose to train again, says Ikeme. You'll find this on page 6 of the newspaper there. And at the top, it says Benzema, Vinicius out of Sevilla clash. This you'll find on page 2 of the newspaper. And we have the FA goals, seek first win over Young Selecio. This you find on page 6 of the newspaper. That's Nigeria versus Brazil. And Trust Ekong earns Watford 400,000 euro. You find this on page 3 of the newspaper. Everton won't be relegated, says it will be. This story you find on page 8. And on the celebrity corner, it says Osimhen will be good signing for Man United, says Black Valentino. Now, these are some of the stories on the Punch Sports Extra.
All right, so with that, we're done reading out the headlines or stories from the dailies. Now we'll dive into some of these stories, and we will definitely begin with Daily Trust newspaper. And Daily Trust Saturday here. Yesterday was Children's Day, and we saw a lot of Nigerians, celebrating their children, their nieces, nephews, and every other thing. But then, on Daily Trust and also some of the papers, the children will actually come and tell the incoming administration what they want, to be able to make their lives better, and we actually hope he sticks to them. And on Daily Trust, it says that the children need safe space, free education, and they need to be top priority.
Yes.
Do you understand? There's a saying that children are the future of tomorrow. They're the leaders of tomorrow. So it's what you imbibe in them from the littlest age. That's what they actually grow with.
That's true.
Do you understand? So definitely, safe space is very, very important.
And of course, let's not forget the free education thing. Education is becoming more expensive in the country, honestly, and it's something that, say, the government, even though the present administration has aided in some parts of, I know there are some places that still offers free education, yes. So, but then I can say that we all agree that this present administration didn't concentrate much on education, and so this is something that we need the incoming president, to come and put more
but if you were to
effort
choose
on it.
between free education and sound education, because it's not about having free education, the teachers, the lecturers that are obtainable in some of these schools, do they know their onions? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can they teach? Did they pass through teaching college? Back then you had to pass through, teaching college before you become a teacher. But now somebody just graduates, and for the sake of, having a job and, making ends meet, they jump into teaching without necessarily having
the qualification, the passion for
exactly.
it. That's true.
And that's why in some states, teachers actually have to write tests to be able to, grade them and know if they actually know anything about teaching. And if you don't pass, then you don't pass. So
that's really sad.
So sound education, I think, is more important than free education when we're able to achieve at least. When it comes to education, it should not be compromised.
Exactly.
When I say, I mean 95% of sound education, I mean from not just kindergarten, but from nursery up until, university level. Then I think we should focus on the sound education rather than free education.
Well, I agree with you on that one. Definitely, sound education it's necessary. And when you say tertiary, we all know how you'll be grooming someone, say, for science, and then there is no enough things or equipment that one would go through the practical stage. So you're just being taught theoretically.
It's theoretical. Even when you go to the practicals, it's always. I was a science student, by the way, and it used to be fun back then. But I didn't think the teachers really knew what they were doing. They would read from books and tell us what to do.
It's really sad, honestly. I think we just need to do better. The educational sector needs to be pumped
top notch. When I say top notch, you have in other climes, you have people, transferring, exchange students going from one country to another. In Nigeria, it's not. Who would want to even have Nigerians going to Sudan to school?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You have Nigerians going to. You have Nigerians going to countries that don't even speak English, and they have to learn their languages. And in China, in Russia, they have to learn their languages before they're able to understand or even learn.
That's true.
Do you understand?
And honestly, if there is a sound education in the country, I don't think people would have to move.
And then talks about Almajirinchi, encouraging child labor and street begging, which is true.
Whew. Okay, this is a topic I think that if we should push, people would push back, but it's something that has been eating the system a lot, and people try. And if people try to come for it, there's this pushback, a force is coming to say that no, it is okay. And people keep saying the main point is children can learn from everywhere.
Definitely.
The children should.
It doesn't stop them from, having their education.
Learning. The child should feel the presence of his parents or guardian close to him. So that's why, for me, in my own perspective, it's why children grow up being vengeful, angry at the society.
And distant as well.
Exactly, because you see them on the street coming to beg, and then someone would please get out. So there is that hatred. Imagine the rejection one keeps getting over and over every day of your life. The disappointment. So these people, some of them anyways, would just grow up being vengeful, angry, at the society, and it's not really helping. Honestly, I feel like it's something that really needs to be dealt with. It's something that I feel every stakeholder in charge, should have to sit down.
And the security situation in the country has actually helped. A lot of communities that have probably just one school, or their schools, they actually go to school under a tree or something. But because of because of lack of education, the insecurity situation, they are not able, to even learn.
To do that.
And where does that put them? It put them on the streets.
Speaking of this, let me remind you of the President Muhammadu Buhari's alma mater, his college, Katsina, where they were complaining that the school, I saw the video, was really bad, and they were complaining that they don't even have classroom. They're using the laboratory to do, to have a class in it. And if like the alma mater of the president is even being ignored, then imagine other places. And you mentioned,
and
people.
The president shouldn't actually be blamed.
The
state government should actually be blamed for that.
Honestly, but there's something about giving back to your society, your community.
Exactly.
And it's not like saying it has to be him giving back, but him pushing at least. There should be something, a bit on from your side for people to be like, okay, yes, you are the president, and there is something to show from your angle. Saying even if he doesn't do it himself, he should check on with his state. It's his state after all.
All right, so let's take a look at numbers. The number of licenses of financial institutions, including 179 microfinance banks, 4 primary mortgage banks, 3 finance companies revoked by the Central Bank of Nigeria, is 186. Now, the amount of barrels of oil Wadibi well in Lake Chad Basin area of Borno State, Nigeria is expected to produce in exploration is 943 million barrels.
What if we can produce that amount? It's a good thing, right?
It is a good thing. It is a good thing. That's if we don't have, if the case in the Niger Delta is actually not obtainable, where people would go to siphon and, steal and everything, illegal theft. All right, so we also have the number of medals Nigeria won in 2023, senior, junior, and Cadet African Wrestling Championship in Tunisia to emerge first is 18. And then the amount of naira worth of raw sugar, National Bureau of Statistics said Nigeria imported in 6 years between 2017 and 2022 is 1.4 trillion naira. Now, what is stopping Nigeria from producing her own sugar?
Before
we have access to sugar cane. I'm not even thinking about the diabetes.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
I wanted to say,
this is a crazy amount.
Mention it, like we need to cut down on our sugar intake.
Exactly.
Like 1.5 trillion.
But that's why I suggested sugar cane. We have abundance of sugar cane. Why not, process that and, make sugar? It's actually safer than normal sugar.
I think that, Usaina, honestly, in this country, we need this, should I say, price regulation, price control, because we have seen a situation whereby the borders were closed and the president was encouraging going back to agriculture, like picking our own resources, making something out of it. And at the end of the day, it became more expensive. So even though we want to push for, okay, come back and produce our own, use the sugarcane and do everything, if there is no price control, it's going to escalate, and people would prefer it being imported, than purchasing from home. Yeah.
Oh, well, aside, just to top up what you've just said, aside reducing sugar intake, you need to reduce your sodium intake. And I mean when it comes to salt or spices. Do you understand? You need to reduce it. It is bad for you. You need to, cut it if you can't. I've actually learned that how Nigerians, when they're making eggs, they have all the onions, the pepper, and then they put a
lot of
spices and all that. I've learned to cook without spices, to fry without spices, and then I just pour a little bit of yachi on top. And it tastes
okay. Who said that is going all American Western on us right now? Because
no, I'm not going American. I'm just saying.
Nigerian respect his spices.
Like, I know. No. You put everything, but just that cube. That's what I don't actually include.
Oh, okay.
At least the yaji is spiced as well, so at least it gives it that taste. And you should try it.
Yeah, I believe that when you go to the hospital at some certain age, they tell you to cut down on that intake
you should try it, and you get used to it.
And the salt.
Yeah. So it's very, very important. Your health is first. Even though I know the health sector in Nigeria is in shambles, doctors are on strike. A lot is happening, brain drain and all that. So, but then health is wealth, and you should be the one to keep yourself healthy first before anything. All right, so let's move on to more stories. And it talks about a new marriage trend in Kano as brides get kayan lefe and inside refrigerators.
That's really an interesting one right there.
So they included refrigerators there, and if you can see the I wish you could actually see the picture. I wish you could actually see the picture. But then, if you want to understand or go through this particular story, you can pick up a copy of a Daily Trust Saturday this morning and get to, you know.
And honestly, I just wish that we could like dive more into these stories right now. But then, of course, we are dying to hear from you people. So we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll open up the phone line for you to call in and tell us something. You know, basically, we'll bring in the topic of what you will be talking to us about. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Daybreak Extra. And right now we'll be opening the line, but we want to tell you, what you'll be calling in to share your thoughts on are. So marrying an older woman may not be necessarily like common in decision in the country or in the society in general. Rarely does one find couples where the woman is older than the man. But some people believe that a man who is way older than his wife, will earn more respect than when you are younger to her. I mean, that's how people say it these days. So what do you think? What would you consider? Would you consider an older woman, as a wife? That's you as a man. And as the lady, would you want to have a younger man, as your husband? Even though we know that it all comes down to love, because love is the most important thing. If you people are compatible, if you people realize that you're all good to go, then would you marry that person? Because at the end of the day, we all see the situation where you want something, but you're scared of what your family would say, what the society would say, what your friends would say and how they would react. So call us and tell us what's your thoughts. The number will be displayed on your TV, on the TV screen, of course. You can call the number 08075992766. It will be displayed on your screen. I was saying, now, what's your take on?
Don't ask me that.
Well, I want to ask you.
No, but it doesn't really matter what I feel about it. I think we get to a point in our lives where, with exposure, comes
more understanding.
Yeah? Oh my goodness, thank you for taking that out of my mouth. Comes understanding. Okay, so I don't know, it depends. It's houses will say danganta. Do you understand? It depends. For some people, they would not mind marrying younger men or older women, and to some it is a no on their list.
It's
You
a
talked
matter of
about it,
preference.
yes. And when you talk about it bringing disrespect, I think the reason why is because for a woman, when a woman, the age gap between a woman and a man, even when their age mates are definitely different. When a man and a woman are actually of the same age, let's just say if they're 18, the woman is already 22.
Yeah.
Her thinking, her
smartness.
reasoning. Do you understand? She's already aged beyond that particular age, and the man is still there. Do you get? So there's no balance in most cases. But these days, you actually have a lot of younger men who are a lot more mature than their age or than they should be due to life struggles, due to all they've been through and everything. But it's what works for you. Do you understand? You're two human beings who decided to come together and live together. As long as there's understanding, as long as there's love, and as long as there's respect. I don't want to compare it with a woman having more money than the man. Do you understand? It's kind of the same thing. When a woman has more money than the man, or when the woman is older than the man. Society has actually, when it comes, the natural, trajectory of society is the fact that, an older man, not too old, marries a younger woman.
Yes, if he's
Takes
rich.
care. What are you saying?
Oh, okay.
Well, oh my goodness, this girl has zoned out.
I thought
Sumi, you've zoned out. This is not what I'm talking about.
Okay, I understand. I thought you were talking about, the old, way older men.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not.
Let me just point out that you're supposed to call and also send a WhatsApp message. So in case you're not able to, connect to the network or something, just go ahead, drop your message, we'll read it out. And do not forget to include your name and where you are sending that message from. Okay, so yes, I understand that where you're
But
talking
these days,
about.
people don't actually care, because if you look at the ratio of women to men is women are actually much more than men. Do you understand? So if an older woman actually finds a younger man who all these things, has everything she wants, understanding and all that, and she goes for him these days.
Yes,
So-
true. I know that, people are welcoming the idea now. It's becoming a bit less, but then there is still that point where immediately maybe you're having a beef with someone, that person is quick to throw shade. Oh, you even married a younger man, or
No, but forget about
people
what
use
other
it
people
as
outside.
as a point of insult.
It doesn't even
to-
matter. I don't think so. Forget about outside. What about within? When you're in a fight with your spouse or your partner,
yes.
and they tell you, "Nah, Jamaica, I'm older than you."
Okay, well, that is when the woman is saying it or the
Yeah,
man.
the man is saying it.
We all know the situation of couples,
And that's
then
why
they're
respect
fighting.
is very, very
Is a
important.
key. Yes, I feel like in marriage, when you're going in, it's just that you just need to respect each other. Just have mutual understanding.
All right, so we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us on Daybreak Extra.
Yeah, good morning. Just to contribute to your discussion,
Yes, please. First of all, tell us your name and location.
I'm Dr. Adisa from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
All right, well, welcome to the show. So go ahead and share your thoughts.
Right. Nothing bad like what is it? A woman marry somebody
An
who's
older
more
woman-
younger than.
Yes, an older woman married.
Yes, nothing bad about that. Once there's respect and the agreement within themselves, they can keep. They can live successfully. The only thing I will not advise that a woman richer than a man to marry the man. But in terms of age, no problem.
Why is that?
Nothing bad about that at all.
Okay. Oh, you talked about you don't advise a woman who is richer to marry a man who is young.
Yes.
Okay, so why is that bad?
Yes. No, not to give respect, because ideally the man supposed to take full care of theirs. That's the basic need of the children and the wife myself. So you don't need to demand from the wife before you can satisfy.
But don't you think that even though he is not as rich as her, he can still take care of her basic need? Then she can take care of her own, leisure or luxury.
But to attract more respect.
Okay.
Okay, so but when the man, okay, thank you so much, Dr. Adisa, for calling. We appreciate your take.
Yeah.
There's actually so much to say about this. You
Yeah.
know, when the man doesn't contribute at all, because there are men these days who would actually prefer a lady doing everything. You actually have them these days. You know, they'll come and they'll target you, they'll make sure you're rich first
true.
as a lady.
That's true.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Please tell us your name and location.
How's what?
Fine, thank you.
Hello?
Work is fine, thank you. What's your
About your discussion about the.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Abakar Mohammed from Kano.
All right, Abubakar from Kano. Go ahead.
Yeah. So about my man getting married to a woman and older than it's not bad. It's not bad. It's good. But the problem is that if you look at it, there's some factors you need to consider before taking that decision. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. There's some factors you need to consider before taking that decision as a man. There's a woman that would like to take advantage over you. That's a woman that she's older than you, getting a younger person. She may likely take advantage of you. But in the sense that there's a mutual understanding, and it happens that she's not there for a purpose. You understand? She's not there for a purpose. Well, in the sense that maybe she's looking for a younger guy, sugar money, blah, blah, blah. But in a situation whereby there's an understanding, at least between the two parties, and the marriage is a clean marriage exists. Even myself, if I get a woman like that, I'll get married to her because there's a maturity in it, and you never have problem with the relationship.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Abubakar from Kano, for your contribution.
Yeah.
We really, really appreciate that.
And really interesting one, even though I have something to add to what Abubakar said, but
Please go ahead.
Yeah. No, let me read out this message because there's a lot of messages coming in. So one says, "Good morning. I am Fam Sajo Gire. I hope I pronounced that right, from Adamawa State." So he said, "My thought is that it's okay to marry someone that's older than you once there is understanding and agreement. But personally, I would like to marry a woman who is younger than me." Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Sajo, for that message. A really interesting one, which is true. It's just what you said from the beginning. You know, it's all about preference. Some people just wouldn't mind, while some. And I guess what? I met someone that told me literally that he prefers older women because they're more smarter. They're
more traditional as well.
Exactly, more traditional. Okay, so we have another caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Am I
what's your
talking
name?
to Trust TV?
Yes, you are. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Dr. Sheu Isa from Bauchi.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Shiu.
Okay, I'm watching your program and the topic you're discussing on.
All right. Please go ahead with your contribution.
All right. For me, actually, marrying an older woman or a younger woman, as other colleagues of mine have been saying, to me, marrying an older woman is more preferable than marrying a younger woman. For me, because I've come across so many. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I've come across so many men, which have all my friends that have married an older woman, older than them. For example, in Abuja, there is a colleague of mine that is working in the State House.
Okay.
And very unfortunate, he met a colleague of his there who is about 13 years older than him. And they got married. Some of his family members were not happy with it, but when they come across a family meeting, she was able to explain, and after she explained, they were happy and they feel that yes, this woman knows what she's doing. She said she's getting married to their son for a reason, and that reason is in her office they are expecting as a woman, because you people, you need to understand, all of you are women. Now at your own age, people, if you are not married, they might be thinking
especially journalists, they might be thinking maybe you are having maybe affairs with one or two elders, especially senators, reps, ministers, or what, because there is such kind of allegation. If I could remember, in somewhere around 2005, when Eugenia Abu was anchoring a program with President Olusegun Obasanjo, Nigerians were saying President Obasanjo was dating Eugenia Abu, which was not right. So this woman was able to tell them, okay, I'm getting married to this young man because I am hearing a lot of things which is regarded to us. They were saying, I am maybe following men outside. So in order to maintain and respect my own dignity, I should get married so that this accusation that my colleagues are doing will diminish. You understand? So for me, marrying an older woman, I even advise my fellow colleagues, if they can do that, I advise them, let them go for it. But the younger ones, it's not a crime to marry them. But for now, younger ones, less than 30 or 30 downward, they are the ones that mostly are getting divorced now because they don't have good mutual understanding with their men. So for me, I'm advising, and my own opinion is, I will marry an older woman, older than me, than to marry a young man. And lastly, I will say, to me, in my own religion as a Muslim, I have even observed and I've read it. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his first wife was older than him with 15 years. He was 25 and she was 40. So for me, marrying an older woman is acceptable.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you
I
so
really
much,
appreciate. I like Trust TV. You are documenting what is really happening in Nigeria. I like you people. Please keep on, carry on. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. And have yourself a wonderful weekend.
All right, so we have a message. We'll take a message there. It says, good morning, Trust TV. I am Austin from Makurdi, Benue State. I prefer marrying an older woman than me because she has all the experience to lift me and make me happy.
Okay, so a lot of men are for it because of the pampering. You know, an older woman will now take care of you and everything. That's why I said it depends. A lot of people actually normally they go into marriage for different reasons. Some go for procreation, some go for the money, some go for love, some go for, you know, if their biological clock is ticking and everything. So it depends on the major reason why you want to get married to that person.
And Dr. Shehu said he's not saying that it's a crime for you to marry the younger ones. It can't be, please, it's not a crime.
All right, hello, good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Extra. All right, we actually lost that call. Do call us back.
Okay, I think Abubakar mentioned something about, you know, he would prefer to marry a younger person. Yes, he was of that notion. And he said that some women get married to a younger guy because maybe they just want to get something from him.
You know, if you look
and I'm
at
saying,
it
what about the men, older men getting married to the
right now,
one?
right? You find that out. A lot of older men are childish. And a lot of younger men are more mature. And then a lot of older women are mature. A lot of younger women are childish. So the younger ones prefer the older men, and the younger men prefer the younger.
Okay, so we have a caller.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for joining us. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello? Hello? All right, we're not connecting with that particular caller, so please call us back when you can.
Of course.
But you understand what I'm saying? It's like an ex, you know, this for this and everything.
All right, we have another caller. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Donald. I'm from Benue State.
Okay, Donald. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. What's your take on the topic today?
The topic is very sweet. As a man, if you marry a woman that is younger than you, I think it's better you serve as a father, a brother, an advisor, above all as a husband. Then, marrying a woman that is older than you, if the wife is meant to be your wife, she will serve as a mother, advisor, auntie, sister, above all, your wife. So I don't see anything bad or wrong here. The most important thing, let the kingdom of God called marriage be built on a peaceful atmosphere. So don't think about what people say about you or what makes you comfortable. What the most important thing in this world, don't lose your peace. Losing your peace is the worst thing that will happen a being, because the life will not give you any reason being alive. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. Okay, so we're going to take a message from Augustine Promise. He says he's from Delta State, Warri, and concerning a man marrying a woman who is older than him, no, it is not advisable. Respect will not be there, and later in the future, there will not be anyone taking, of the man when the woman is needed. Okay, I'm not sure I understand the last one. There will not be anyone taking of the man.
Taking care.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think he missed that
Okay,
word.
yes, it will be taken care of the man when the woman is needed. Okay. that would be funny. So right now he's talking about, is it the biological clock saying that if the woman is gone or something?
I seriously don't even understand what he said. I don't understand what he meant when he actually said that. Could be different things.
Yeah, because I think in marriage, just like the younger girl is marrying the older man,
so that when he's a lot older, she'll be able to be younger and
yes,
be able to take care of him.
To take care of him. But shouldn't it be vice versa?
Yeah, taking care of each other.
If the other person, because age is just like, say, let's say other things. Could be health, it could be someone's character. This person is like this, so you just have to, at one point, the other party that is more stronger in a particular part could just assist the other.
Some people would actually say that it was society that determined the age difference. You understand?
Yeah.
So what makes this one any different? But even at that, anything can happen, not necessarily old age. Not necessarily old age. Somebody can be incapacitated, way earlier than, before they even grow old. So who should take care of who? It could be the woman, it could be the man. So what happens? Who takes care of who?
Exactly. So it has
really
nothing. I feel it's just a two-way thing. One person helps the other if the other is in his lowest. Okay, so we'll read a message from Abdul Rauf Yusuf from Kaduna, and he says, I can marry a woman who is older than me if she has money and she is ready to take care of me.
Did you hear what I said about
thank you for your honesty
about
and your
diggers, male gold diggers?
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about.
After all, he's not a gold. He just feels he
if
needs
she's
to be
richer
pampered.
So who will pamper the woman?
Okay, let's not forget the women also do this too.
You have to give to take, but like I said, society actually determines it. It's only okay because the man is supposed to be the provider, so he provides and everything. But you saying you marry the woman if she's older and she can take care of him, what are you doing? What are you bringing to the table?
Let's shake the table now. Okay, we have another caller. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I think we lost that call there. So talking about shaking the table, Jose now says, what is he bringing? Yeah, that's true, because you can't expect, say, her to be, the normal notion of the man who provides will be like, okay, I provide, so you should take care of the house.
Yeah, exactly. So they're actually doing both. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But, you can't just come and sit down and then expect everything to be done for you. At least for the woman, even if she doesn't have a job or anything, she procreates. Do you understand?
That's a job.
Yeah, that's a job. She takes care of the children, the house, she cooks, she cleans, she does a lot.
That's a job. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, good morning. We can hear you now. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, morning.
Yes, please tell us your name and location.
Yeah, my name is Shatima Muhammad calling from Maiduguri.
All right, Shatima from Maiduguri. Let's have your contribution.
Okay. I was just watching the news regarding this topic of will you marry older women or younger men? Yeah, just my contribution is for me a man having marrying an older woman is not a big problem as long as there is mutual understanding and respect between them. It's not an issue. If you reflect back to Islam, if you look at Muhammad the Prophet, also married Khadija, who is at the age of 40 and when he was 25. So the grounded issue here is that if the man can respect the woman, even though she's older than him, it's fine. It's not going to be a big issue. So as long as she has a good character, they have a mutual understanding, and they respect each other and one another, irrespective of whether the woman is older than him or not. So this is just a contribution to the topic of discussion.
All right, thank you so much, Shatima from Maiduguri, for that contribution. He says he doesn't mind. There's nothing wrong with it and everything. But I still want to go back to that man. Should I call him man a boy? Because he wants a rich woman. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Abdul Rahuf. Do you understand? Even if a woman agrees to marry you and you're not bringing anything, you're not doing anything, she's the one doing everything, believe me, you would enjoy yourself. But that respect will not be there. Because no matter how little you are, as long as you're a man, you crave for respect. It's part of you. It's part of your making. Do you understand? The ego, the pride, you want to be respected. And if she's doing everything, she doesn't respect you, you will never get it.
Yes, and if you keep demanding for that respect, then she'll start getting bitter towards you. Because she'll be like, I'm doing everything. Steve
And
Harvey
so women
says,
are not wired for that.
Yes,
Do you understand?
honestly.
So when they do that, it messes up their
the whole system. True. Steve Harvey emphasized that men should be the provider, and if you insist that a woman should, then you should know that she's already bringing something to the table, which is procreating.
Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Extra. Tell us your name and location, please.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name and location?
My name is Muhammad Mukhtar from Birnin Kebbi State.
All right, Muhammad from Kebbi State. Go ahead.
Okay, I like this program you are doing.
Thank you.
So my view is will you marry an older woman or young man? Is that?
Hello, go ahead. All right, we lost our call.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Muhammad, for...
Okay, so we have a message. We'll pick a message from Zailani, Shehu Zailani from Bauchi State. He says there is absolutely no problem, with that. He has no problem with that, and it's in fact, it is even advocated that they are better wives and more responsible in keeping marital ties. That's the older women. And upon all, as Muslims, it's sunnah because our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, first wife was an elderly woman. Yes, Nana Khadija. So yes, thank you, Shehu Zailani, for that contribution. So Shehu Zailani is, agreeing to what one of the callers said, mentioning that, the older women are more mature and, of course, they are more loved, like they love more. Anyways, that's what the men want.
They're exposed enough to be able to know, how to handle
the do's
a
and
person.
don'ts.
Do you understand? They, talk about exposure, communicating with people, spending enough years in this world would actually open your eyes.
Yes.
Do you get?
And then the level of patience, it's like, it's increasing. I'm married.
The mental capacity as well to handle issues, the maturity.
More maturely, yes, that's true.
All right, we have another caller. Hello. Hello. Okay, well, I think with that, we'd actually go on a quick break, and when we come back, we will continue this segment. Just stay with us. Well, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us and joining us on Daybreak Extra. So if you just joined us, we're actually talking about, older women versus younger men. Yes. Okay. Are you of the opinion that, are you okay with older women marrying younger men? That's what we'll be talking about. We've actually gotten a lot of calls and messages, and we still have more coming in. So let us know what your take is. The number is definitely on the screen, so you can call us or send in messages letting us know if you're okay or not with older women marrying younger men, or vice versa. Okay. So a lot is actually happening.
It is indeed.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Usman Garba calling from Yola.
Good morning.
We didn't get your name, Usman.
Usman from Yola.
Usman Garba.
Usman, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. What's your name and location?
I don't know why this is my sister-in-law. So I also have to casting the news.
Okay.
Hello, Usman.
I said I didn't see Usman for the past 3 weeks.
Oh, yes. Oh, I actually went on leave. I went to rest, but I'm back now.
Yeah. All right, you're highly welcome.
Thank you very much. All right, so Usman.
Good morning.
Somebody from
Good morning, Usman.
All right, so go ahead with your contribution, Usman.
The topic of today is a very interesting one. Marrying older woman or a younger one. But, Islamically, it's not wrong. Islamically, it's not wrong for a young man to marry an older woman, because our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also married older woman who is older than him. So it's a matter of choice. But I also believe that our Christian faith also does not discriminate between a woman marrying an older woman. So it depends on the choice of the person. If you want to go for an older woman, fine and good. If you want to go for a younger woman, fine and good. But the most concrete thing for both parties to understand is there must have to be an understanding. Because if a young man marries a older woman, the age gap is so wide. If there is not an understanding between both parties, the marriage will crash down. So it all depends on how the boy or the younger person perceives the older woman, or the older woman perceives the younger person. But if there is cooperation and understanding, I think the marriage will last and will a long-lasting woman. So thank you very much for the opportunity given to me.
Thank you so much, Usman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Usman, for your contribution. We appreciate it. So he said it's one other person that says there's nothing wrong with it. So far, the women, where are the women?
Exactly.
We want the women to actually call in and let us know what they feel about it, because, they are, at the top of the priority here. Do you understand? So as an older woman, would you be okay marrying a younger man? And do you think it's okay? So this is what we want to know. So try to call in. The number is displayed on the screen. We would actually love to hear from you. It can't be just both of us talking now. Let's hear what you think about it.
Okay, so we have a message here from James from Boko, Benue State. He says, marrying an older woman is not in my dreams, because women grow older than men, even when you go for a quite younger one. Okay, I think I would argue with that. That's a matter of genetics. It's some people grow older, while some just have this amazing body, and some have ways of working.
And these days with
and
workouts,
eating healthy.
Exactly. A lot of women, don't age as much as they should. But even though there's this particular couple, a very annoying one, a very young man. Right now, he should be in his early 30s. Dating someone who is a woman who is she's 60 or 70, I think 70 or 80-year-old grandma.
Okay.
Now can you see the age gap? That's not what we're talking about here, is it?
No, that could work if it's okay for them.
That's like 40 years.
It's not a crime. That's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to say. It's not if he finds. Sometimes it's not all about the physical look. There must be something in her mind, her character,
or her bank.
Yeah, that okay. It's not. See, we need to make this clear.
How about
crime to marry someone for money?
Okay,
right?
how about this trend of younger African men marrying older white men for passport?
White women.
Sorry, white women. Sorry, for passport.
It all comes back to preference.
What you're getting married for. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name?
Sumaya is still on the line.
Okay. Welcome back.
Yeah. I came back to say some few things. Firstly, are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Firstly, I would like you to understand. Have the platform today is their day in the program because they have the huge percentage.
What's that, the woman?
I said today older women have the highest percentage. So today is their day on this platform, on this program.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Older women.
Yeah, we get what you said. Please just stay away from your TV set.
Yeah, what I want to say here is, as you can see, some of my colleagues from Bauchi, from Yon, have been.
There seems to be an issue with your connection.
Sumaya, to me, what I want you to understand here is, even me, as of right now, I'm telling you, I'm about to get married to my HOD in my department in the hospital I'm working, and she is older than me.
All right, thank you so much, Shehu, for your contribution. There actually seems to be an issue with your connection, but we heard quite a bit of it. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for taking your time to call in.
Okay, interesting one there. We have a beautiful message. Like, messages keep popping on, of course. So please go ahead, send in message if you're trying to connect and maybe the line is bumped up because of a lot of people trying to connect with us out there. This is a topic that needs to be discussed because the society are, still not accepting it. Sometimes a man will make the decision, I want her, or the woman would say, I want a younger man. And then sometimes even her kids or her family, his own family would be at the back of it. So if we're even deciding to, and in that African notion, I know we try to shy away from saying it's all the man's decision or the woman's decision, but sometimes African family are part of the marriage system. And it's until we walk past that, we still have to involve or include the family. So how do we also deal with, families and all that if you finally make the decision to marry? And if you are against the marriage of, older woman, then tell us your reasons. Why?
When you actually talked about family, being, yes, when you marry someone, you marry their family and everything. But I think there would be a bigger issue if you, as a younger man who is just starting life, decides to marry a woman who has gone past the giving birth stage.
Okay.
There's going to be an issue, even if you love her to death. I don't think your family would, especially if you don't have a supportive family in that case, they will not be, for that marriage at all.
Okay, so we have a message that I would pick right now. It says, good morning to you, wonderful women of the millennium. Thank you. Just want to thank you people in the building for this wonderful discussion. We appreciate that. I'm Emeka Sostenis from Otukpo, Benue State. And as for me, it will make sense when you marry either older or younger woman, especially if both parties love themselves, and more importantly, unity should be their watch, in the world. Yes. So watch world. So thank you to both of you for making my day with this program. I love your station. Okay, thank you so much.
We love you too.
Thank you, Emeka. Yes, really appreciate this message there. So yes, he's just pointing out that, it doesn't matter, older woman or younger woman. At the end of the day, the marriage is about finding a companion that you'd spend the rest of your life with, which we don't know how long it will take. So for someone thinking the woman might get older and not take care of you, we don't really know who lives first or who get, you know?
Exactly. Exactly what I was saying.
So it really doesn't matter. I don't
because
think
this life
matters.
can shock you.
Exactly. Oh my God. So this has been an interesting topic for us all. Let's see if we can try to pick one more call for someone who is lucky to call in. Okay, so we have a caller, and yeah, to be our last caller for today. Good morning.
Hello, Sumaya, it is Usman, I'm back.
Okay, welcome back, Usman.
Even though in your statement you made mention of the strategy of agree with this kind of marriage, but the key word here, Sumaya, is love. If there is love, the key word there is love. If there is love between the two parties, nothing will come in between them. So we have to understand that the marriage there, the essence of their marriage, or is hinged on that four-letter word, that love. If the younger person loves the older woman, if the marriage will last. If the older woman loves the younger man, the marriage will last. So we have to understand that in the society or the family, you find it. It's true that you go to some stages. You see that if the young man wants to marry an older woman, right from the family background, they will start telling him, this woman is older than you. What are you going to do? Is there no younger woman? So all this, if there is love between the two parties, definitely the marriage will last.
All right.
Thank you. And God bless you.
All right, thank you so much, Usman, for that contribution. Now, he talked about love. Well, some people would actually say that when it comes to marriage, yes, love is important, but you can also like a person and still have a very interesting marriage. Do you understand? Because there will be more times than you can count where love would actually disappear and you're stuck with liking that person and being able to live with that person.
I remember someone says when her husband does something to her, she wonder who is this man, and then she wants to go.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Scream.
So does love really matter? Shouldn't you like the person first? Yeah, love should be a plus. Do you understand? But even at that,
a likeness,
that will not be able to sustain, because a lot of curveballs would actually be hit in that marriage. It will come at you in that marriage.
Yes.
So
the likeness is yes. I understand what you're saying. Honestly, when you like someone, then it eases up. Even when that person is at his meanest or something.
You need to be able to tolerate that person too.
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you things
if you can't
I know about tolerance.
Person,
yeah.
Okay.
The only way that you would have that amazing tolerance is when you just think of the good things that person does. Even when he's been
because people are quick to forget about the positive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you'll be with someone and then the person does something to you and you're like, you start remembering all the negative, all the wrong things that person did. And that's where the anger keeps popping up. But even in that midst of that anger and disappointment, when you just remember the good things that person does.
I've learned something from you. Marriage counselor.
No, I'm not.
Marriage.
Apart from being a counselor. Okay, so we have a message here, and it will be the last message. So finally, a lady sent us a message, says, good morning to you all in the house. I really love your program and the topic you table. My own contribution is marriage is all about mutual understanding, and both partners have their roles to play. Age doesn't matter most. Remember that the man have to play the role of the head and the woman have to be submissive. In terms of age difference, any kind of woman who knows that she's of age, ready to be submissive to her spouse. Not all young ladies are full of ego and nagging. Some okay, I think some
aged ones too.
Some aged ones, okay, do too. Yeah, for me, as far as you're ready to play your role in the house, go ahead. I'm Zainab Abdul Rashid from Funtua, Katsina State.
That was a fantastic
message. A smart one, Zainab. I think Zainab is trying to defend the younger one, because a lot of men that have called or sent message approving the older woman marriage, it's are trying to say, okay, the younger ones are naggy and all that, and it's true. I mean, for one, I would say I know someone who is way younger but very smart one, you know, talking about someone way more,
More mature,
than her
intelligent than
age.
it.
Yes. So there are people that even though they are young, they still have amazing sense. And it all comes back to, you know, parents knowing when your child is truly ready for marriage.
You know, just as Elia actually said, age ain't nothing but a number, you know,
true.
but yeah, so, you know, just do you. That's just it.
That's true.
You know, a lot of people are after what society will think, what my family will think, but it is what you want that matters.
Yes.
That truly matters. If you're going to be happy in that particular relationship, in that marriage, if you feel, you know, if you've written down, listed the pros and the cons, and you've actually seen that this is what you want, whether the person is 20 years younger than you are,
Yes.
then go for it.
It's just about defending
a lot of clients have actually gone past that, even in Nigeria.
True.
Okay, some don't work out here. Some. So
No,
it's
it's
also wise for you to also know that it might not work out. It's just like every other marriage. There's no possibility that
Yes.
it must work out. It might not work out. So, but then just do you.
It's just your belief, and then learn to defend it. Yes, because the family will always come. So defend it. If you're bringing someone into that kind of marriage,
By the time when a
just
child
defend that person.
comes in self, they will forget.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Everything,
When a
life goes on.
grandchild comes in, they forget.
You see stories of, say, Priyanka
I'm telling
Chopra and
you.
Nick Jonas. Now everyone has forgotten that there's 10 years
Exactly.
gap. So yes. And with that, of course, so we've come to the end of this segment. We enjoyed you calling in, of course, with all your contributions. Thank you so much for staying with us. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, of course, the show continue. We'll be bringing the guest. Stay with us.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Hi, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. And as you've seen, we're talking power bikes today. So let's talk about power bike, super bike or power bike. Okay, as a lot of people actually call it, a fun and exciting to drive and or ride, by the way. Do you drive or we'll find out? Would actually okay, because there's some that actually look like cars. So they can also be challenging and risky, but for the riders, nothing compares to the speed and freedom, you know, a super bike can offer. And these motorcycles are bigger, sleeker, and even faster with a speed range of between 150 to 350 kilometers per hour. And we have joining us a super bike rider. We're supposed to have two, but you know, one couldn't make it. But right here in the studio, we have Mustafa Maina Aji to have a conversation with about what it means to be a biker, especially in Nigeria, you know, this morning. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us, Mustafa.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
So I got confused when I saw super bike, power bike. Are they the same thing or is it totally different?
They are of different categories. The super bikes are bikes that are used only on the racetracks. They are the racing bikes.
Okay.
Yes, only for competitions, while the power bikes, it's a general name, you know, for just bikes that can be used for normal road users to either commute, to race within town, to ride for fun, to cruise, to tour, whatever. It's just a general term.
Okay, so do you ride or drive a power bike?
You
also?
ride.
You ride.
Every bike.
Okay, but what about the ones that actually look like cars?
You also ride them because they don't have a steering.
Okay.
Yes. So you don't drive them. You ride.
So tell us, like, how did you find yourself, you know, riding a bike? Because we all know that it's not really a Nigerian kind of thinking or culture. I mean, even children trying to ride a bicycle, but the parents come hard, will be like, be careful, don't injure yourself and all that. So I don't know. Looking at you, we know that you're like your age. I'm trying to, measure the age. And at what stage did you tell yourself, like, okay, I want to do this and I want to start this? And how did that journey, start?
Well, to do with bikes, mostly it comes with a passion. It have to be inbuilt. Usually, only a few percentage of us liked it later on at their later age in life, but mostly we saw ourselves, even as kids, growing up to love it. It's something that I just can't control. You understand? So if you have the opportunity growing up, it's something you can afford. You just feel like, okay, let me just have one. So like for me, I started riding since 2001.
Oh wow!
Yes, yes. Then officially in Abuja, I started riding bikes 2011 in Abuja. Yes.
Okay, so let's talking about riding bikes. It can be exhilarating, right? Let's talk about the Nigerian factor here. Talking about the Nigerian roads, there are lots of potholes, lots of speed bumps. Isn't that risky riding bikes in Nigeria?
Yeah, just like any other road user, there are risks involved. Whatever you're actually using, whether you are a cyclist or a pedestrian, or somebody who rides a keke napep, or even
so the reason why I actually asked that is because riding a bike, you ride faster than all these other vehicles.
Yes, good. There are different capacity of bikes, So even you being either initiated into biking or something that you just chose to do on your own, you tend to find where you place yourself in terms of your capacity. There are, starting from 125cc bikes, that's 125cc, 250cc's, 400cc's, 600cc's, and the speed and the capacity of the engines keeps going higher and higher and higher. If you are not somebody who likes speed, and you need to ride in a controlled environment, you need a lower capacity of bike. You understand? So that you can take care of the bad roads, and even other road users, or how clustered certain roads are within the country. So talking about speed, to be very, very honest, you know when to open your throttle, and you know when to calm your throttle down. That's generally when it comes to even cars, it's just like the same thing, So basically, the risks are all the same. That's how we see it.
Says the speed bike rider.
Yeah, to us, we feel very, very normal.
Interesting. Yeah, I will believe him when he said it's them, they feel normal, because I remember an experience where someone said, okay, come and enter, let me spin with you. That's using the car.
Yeah.
I used to be like super scared of it from outside, but he said, no, from the inside, it's a different experience. So I tried it, and it was really different. It just felt like somewhat normal, even though my mom says, please never try that again. So I stopped. But yes, I can relate with you on that one. But you mentioned, a race track. So we know that, the Western world already have plans for things like that. So what about you in Nigeria? How do you people, find your way through it? Do you have something like that?
Yes, we do. We do have a racetrack which was locally built in Edo State, where bikers go there to actually push their limits to see how far they can go, and just have that safe ground where they feel safer. A controlled environment, where it's just a racetrack, just for bikes and cars, So sometimes 2-3 times in a year, bikers just go there, and so they can just push their limits and have fun. Sometimes competitions may arise, and there are trophies and awards as well to be gotten from there. So we're thinking of doing something also in the FCT, so that we can avoid certain kind of drifts, certain kind of stunts happening in illegal areas or sports within the FCT, and maybe other states. It must be happening. So we're also pleading if the government can actually create that space for us to see how we can also have a controlled environment in Abuja.
Okay, so you talked about drifting, and it just occurred to me about the risks involved when it comes to riding power bikes and you're speeding. Because whether you're a professional or not, it can be fatal. How do you protect yourselves?
That's
because I know the
yes.
helmet enough is not enough to protect you.
Yes. So that's where the gears come in. That's why you have protective gears. And those gears are in different categories and in different levels. And there are technologies involved in those things. That's why even of late, you find enhancements like the airbag system.
In what you wear?
In what you wear.
Wow.
You know, there are airbag systems now, you know, whereby as soon as you are off the bike at a certain speed of the bike, automatically the sensor system within you opens up the airbag.
Makes it a lot safer. So have you ever witnessed anyone who was wearing the gear and it protected him or her?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Even myself and many other people.
Oh.
You know, most bikers have crashed before, and we lost very few. You know, so it's just normal.
Okay, I know of a friend's husband who actually died, you know, from the biking accident and all that. But that was years ago. Maybe it wasn't obtainable then. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, but that's actually a good
They're
one.
very expensive.
Yeah,
as
well, considering that they already want it and they cannot stop themselves from doing it, yes, that safety thing is really interesting. And we hope that, you know, there will be more safety measures, you know, to help this situation. So Hussaina mentioned her. And it brought me to the thought of, you know, women. Do you have women in your team? I saw a video. What was happening there first? Let's talk about that video that we just watched. What was happening in that video? Because there was a lot of speed bikes there and then people doing a lot of things. Please explain it.
Yeah, some part of the video actually showed we converging, because almost every year there are events. We converge. We have road draws where you tour over many states. You know, maybe 6, 8, 10, or even 15 states. In Nigeria, you just have a tour within a week or thereabout to tour those states. You know, then come to a particular location, have a starting point, and you have a destination. So at that destination, that's when you cool off, you park your bikes, there's a hotel, there are entertainments, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So that you just mingle, then from there, everybody passes to their various destinations. So it's just about the ride. Then some part of the video also showed where bikers just come out in the evening, maybe on a Saturday, on a Sunday. If you notice in Abuja here, you hardly hear bikes between Mondays to Fridays.
Yeah.
You know, because we feel the roads are too busy.
So it's not like there's a law against
No, there's no law. But we feel safer when there are less road users, because we are the fastest on the road. We are always the fastest on the road. So you see bikes now going up to 480 kilometers per hour. Do you understand? So being we being the fastest on the road, we normally see how we can ride when there are less people on the road. So we choose Saturdays very early in the morning, or in the evening, or even Sundays very early in the morning and in the evenings. And obviously Abuja have the roads for us to actually have fun.
Okay.
And enjoy ourselves.
All right, so you talked about, you know, bikers converging and everything. Do you guys have like a club? I know there is a bikers club, but I don't know if it's just the name or if it's actually a club for bikers and all that. Do you have like an organization where you guys meet, you know, have discussions and plan and everything?
Yeah,
Tell us a bit about it.
Yes, there's a national body for biking in Nigeria. You understand? Yeah, which is called the SCAN. You know, and there's also BIN, which is Bikers in Nigeria.
Okay.
You understand? So it's an umbrella that accommodates every biker, you know, irrespective of your affiliation. Usually it is a cluster of those, or fragments of those clubs that are registered and known, because due to some kind of societal notion out there, you know, we need to know ourselves. To keep ourselves on the safe side. We need to know ourselves. We need to make sure, okay, there's no intruder, somebody coming with a bad motive or intention to join us. So we sieve ourselves and we come as clubs or groups, you know, to actually associate, then put ourselves registered properly under this umbrella. So yeah, there are bike clubs and there are bike groups, there are group of friends like minds. It depends on where you want to position yourself. And there are freebies and also people who are called indies who just feel, okay, fine, I just have the money, I can afford a bike, I know how to ride a bike, I don't want to mingle with much people, I just have like minds, some guys that I know I'm comfortable with, or maybe we share the same ideology and all that. So we just want to come together and ride together and have fun.
But how expensive is this lifestyle?
Well, the lifestyle is
buying a bike, because I know even if
cheap.
to buy a keke, it costs a lot.
Yeah,
just
it's not cheap.
talk of a power bike.
It's not cheap. To be very honest, it's not cheap, especially when you want to get a very, very good bike. You need to prepare and get something that at least it won't stress you, it won't suffer you. It's not like something that you can just easily go and get any mechanic or someone at the roadside just fix it up for you.
What's the price range?
You understand? So price range now for, let's say, a 600 to 750 cc maybe capacity of bike, you can be talking about between 3.5 million naira to 5 million naira. You understand? That's a range. Then when you're leaving 750 to like 1,000 cc, just talk about 5 million to up to 50 million naira.
So they can even be more expensive than cars.
Yeah, some bikes are more expensive than cars because you see certain bikes going for up to $50,000, $65,000, $85,000 bikes. You understand?
What about the gears?
The gears are also in thousands of dollars.
Wow.
$2,000, $2,500, $3,000, $6,000 kits or gears, yeah. So those are the ranges. So it's not actually a cheap spot because when you're considering safety, you feel nothing is too much, you know, for your safety. So
of
basically.
Course. So we understand that, of course, it's for the rich and it's like a golf, right? So, but you know, there are younger people that we say in this generation that admire you people doing these things, and they would want to like have a way to reach it, and definitely might not have the finance, you know. So how do you people have maybe some sort of like a community or giving back to the society kind of thing that someone can be able to say reach you people to learn without having the finance to keep up with that?
Yeah, first of all, there are people who could actually volunteer and aid sponsoring somebody who has a passion by taking him to the school. We have a school, a bike school here in Abuja, where you could be nurtured, you know, and taught how to ride, observed, and allow you to grow, so that you actually know the do's and don'ts, and you get well. Make sure you know how to ride a bike properly, and you're issued like a
permit?
A permit and a certificate of graduation. So now you're free to be on the road.
I wanted to ask, do you people have license for that, you know, particular speed bike riding?
Like a driver's
from
license?
the government or something?
No. Like a license? No. We're just allowed to ride. But there's no proper documentation to say, okay, this is something to show, you know, as a permit, no.
So on behalf of the, you know, Women Association of Nigeria, how involved are the women in speed bike riding?
Yeah, we have quite a good number of ladies who not just even ride, some have gone as far as competing in a race on the racetrack.
Just for females or both gender?
There are ladies who can also compete with the guys, and there are ladies who just ride within their own category, competing with fellow ladies. And there are ladies who tour. There are ladies who have gone from here to South Africa on a bike. They've traveled for weeks. You understand? On a bike, a lady have done that, you know. And I feel for some of them, marriage have affected them. Most of them, when they get married, I've noticed they don't just continue with those high risks or that adventure, you know. But there are ladies who have done it, and they're still doing it, and they ride almost every weekend.
Okay, so I actually want to ask either what is or what do you consider the age limit for, you know, riding a bike, especially in Nigeria, like from beginning to end? You know, when should one start? When can one start, and at what age can one stop?
Well, I think when you can attain, once you can attain a considerable height, and your feet can actually touch the ground, and you can get support, age of 13, 15, why not?
So short people cannot ride bicycles.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
If your legs can touch the ground.
I wouldn't say that. Even the bikes, some of them are adjustable, and some of them are low, and there are also type of bikes for people who maybe are not, let me not use the word, are not that average, maybe due to a certain form of, natural causes. But there are quad bikes, that the bikes who have 4 tires.
Okay.
And there are different kind of bikes. Bikes are of different types, even outside the capacity.
Do they have the same effect as the?
They because of the purpose. Like there are Taurus. These Taurus are bikes that you ride to cover a very long distance. You don't use a Taurus to just ride within Abuja town.
Okay.
You use a Taurus and say, please, I need to go to Ghana. I need to be in Ghana tomorrow. I have maybe phobia for flight or something. Let me just go on my bike. And I cover such long distance. They have larger tanks, they have more economy, their sitting positions are more comfortable, they don't stress you, you don't need to lean like a sport bike.
Do they have baggage spaces?
Yeah, they have baggage spaces, that you can actually pick up your things, food. They have a GPS system, for direction, they have internet and so many other things, you understand? So that's a Taurus for you. And there are sport Taurus for people who like speed and at the same time they want to feel comfortable to cover long distance as well. There are sport Taurus like that. And there are also high capacity bikes like the Suzuki Hayabusas, the ZX14s, Kawasaki, those are bikes that are actually built for veterans, people who can take certain kind of pressure and certain kind of speed, irrespective of where they're going to and the distance. Even road affects the kind of bikes you use. There are off-road tires that can be used for this Taurus, and there are bikes that, due to the nature of the roads, they also have remote tires, you understand, and that can be able to do well and have good traction even on a wet road.
Okay.
And all those kind of things. Yes. So basically, that's what it is. And there's also a category of bike for who just don't like speed. They're called cruisers. They just want to cruise like the Harley Davidsons. You just want to cruise, just want to feel the breeze. They're just tired of driving a car. Just want something different. You just don't want to drive. You've been driving from Monday to Friday. You just want a different feel, something different. You just want that fresh air. You just want to just go have a short distance, take 1 or 2 drinks, eat, enjoy yourself. Well. You don't even have to kit so heavy. Just kit up so light and just enjoy yourself. Just cruise 80 km per hour, 100 km per hour. Maximum, if you push your limit, maybe 120 km per hour. And you're good. Enjoy yourself.
Mustafa, I think you mentioned that you were injured in the conversation when we're talking about, the hazard of this business. But then you also mentioned that in bikes, there are bikes that, you get in order to not affect your back or something. Don't you people have issues with bike, when you mentioned touring around Nigeria, 36 states. What about your back? How do you cope with it?
Yeah, that's when you need bikes that are going to give you that comfort.
Okay, so you get bikes.
Yeah, and there are stopovers.
Okay.
There are stopovers, every day there are stopovers. You are also allowed to relax, get yourself better, have good rest, have a nap, sleep. It's not really a do or die affair, so that's why it covers sometimes a week, sometimes 10 days and thereabout. Yes.
All right, well, this was definitely an interesting conversation. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, on Daybreak Extra this morning, Mustafa Maina Aji. Thank you. We appreciate your time and also this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, with that, we've come to the end of the show. Next week is another day. Yes, same time, same station. I am Dashan Husseina Usman. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
And I am Sumaya Abubakar. Do not forget to stay tuned for Adeni Adjushafe, who will be bringing you the sports news. Stay tuned. Bye for now.